YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be doing a shell challenge today. Now, for those of you who don't know what a shell challenge is where a simmer creates just the shell of the house. So most of the time it's the outside walls. Sometimes they'll add some inside walls that you have to work around. And the basic rules are you can't move those walls. So you can't make them bigger, you can't make them smaller, or anything like that. And there's a YouTuber I follow. His name is SimplyCoCo. And he made this shell challenge. Now, I will link his video about his shell challenge up above just so you can go and check it out and get all the information for yourself. But I kind of liked this one, his shell. So let's just take a look at it. So this is the shell he made, which I thought was kind of an interesting shape, and there were a lot of different ways that this could go. So as I was saying, with the shell challenge, you make the outside of it, and the people who take the challenge have to work within these parameters. So for example, you can't say, oh, I want this to be a little bigger. That doesn't work. That breaks the challenge because this is the shell that he built. It's a pretty typical shell. There is this little bitty, here, let me put my walls up so you can see a little better. There is this little bitty wall part that, you know, makes it a little more interesting to work around depending on what type of build you're doing. But I kind of like shell challenges because I'm not very good at actually building the house, but I like to decorate. I can decorate some stuff. So I am going to take his shell and I am going to build my challenge. Now, with his challenge, he is giving a prize of a game pack for first place. I am asking that my build not be considered for that, just for the fact I already have all the packs, and I would kind of rather someone who needs the packs win, you know, just to make it more fun. I'm not really doing this for a competitive or anything like that. I just thought it looked fun, so I decided to do it. So with that in mind, let's get started. Alright, so here we go with my build. Now, in his video, he asked that he wanted to see a cafe. You could do the challenge on whatever type of lot you wanted, but he asked to see a cafe. So I decided to go with that because, you know, I have built a few cafes in my times here on The Sims. I don't necessarily want to talk about exactly how many cafes I have speed builds of, but he requested it, so that's what I did. And just looking at it, I had been kind of having this idea in my head for a little while about this grandmother who makes this cafe, and she makes it more of a place just for her and her friends to get together and knit, because that's kind of what, you know, she does. So that's kind of where I based this idea for this cafe off of. I wanted it to be kind of a neat little get together, you know, very pink, very yellow, a lot of the stuff from Nifty Knitting, just a very, I don't necessarily want to say tea house style, but kind of tea house style. So that's really what I was going for here. And I wanted to use the platform that he had as kind of a outdoor section to sit and eat. So here I am. I picked the pinkest, most fancy wallpaper I could have, and I turned that little bit on the side there into a sunroom, which I thought was a neat touch. So I'm going through, let's see, what am I doing now? Okay, I'm starting to pick out some of the wall decorations and stuff. I wanted to have one of the menu boards in the back. There's not really many that go with the cafe theme, though, and that makes me a little sad. I wanted like a cafe chalkboard type thing, but you get what you get with The Sims sometimes. I'm working on the sunroom area. I kind of envision this a place as to where most of the knitting would take place, so I try to use a lot of stuff from Nifty Knitting in there just as kind of decoration. I use the pink rug. There's a very pink theme throughout the bottom of this cafe. And I wanted to put a rocking chair in there, but I just couldn't get it to fit. I add a bunch of the plants from Nifty Knitting. Like I said, this is a very Nifty Knitting inspired cafe. And like I said, that's just to kind of fit with the theme of that. Hanging a bunch of the sewing items up on the wall. I do get sad because I can't use that. I mean, I guess I could have used it, but I end up not using that big glass door because when I went to work on the upper floor, it would clip into it, and you can't really make the doors smaller. It doesn't really work very well in The Sims like you can with other objects. So I ended up having to replace that door. I still think the end result looked pretty cute, but it wasn't what I wanted. Just kind of working on the entryway. Again, a ton of decorations. I do just tons of decorations on this build. I kind of went all out. Very cafe style, tea room inspired. One of the things that does get me about The Sims 4 is cafe, which I get, can be coffee and stuff, but every time I say the word cafe, my mind goes to Whistle Stop Cafe from Fried Green Tomatoes, because that was my favorite movie as a kid growing up. So part of me, I mean, I could have made it as a restaurant and just called it a cafe, but no, I wanted to do a cafe. I wanted to be true to what I was doing. My Batu item for this build, because it's become a running joke that in all of my builds there has to be at least one item from the Batu pack. I end up using, not those flowers from the Batu pack kind of in the corner there. And to be honest, when I looked at them, it kind of looked like maybe they could have been a little crafty project. Maybe these old ladies got together and crafted these little flowers. So I thought it fit really well. I'm starting on the outside patio area. Now, I will admit, I may have gone a little bit overboard when it comes to the garden here. I think I just kind of got my grandmother vibes, which my grandmother absolutely loved gardening. Her gardens were always full for just as long as I can remember, until she got to a point where it was hard for her to do it anymore. So I think that's kind of where I went with this. Very pink again, keeping with that theme, but I do add some purples and some oranges in there to try to kind of give it a little bit of pop of color. You don't want anything to ever just be one full color. You want to have different pops. A theme is okay. A over extension is not. This is where I had to replace the door, but I am about to get into the upstairs room. Now, my thought behind the upstairs room is perhaps she has a teenage granddaughter or a young adult granddaughter, and she's wanting her granddaughter to get involved with her cafe, because I know my grandmother always wanted me to get involved with all of her stuff, but that's the granddaughter's kind of, no, not really my style, so but she convinces her grandmother to give her the top floor of the cafe to do whatever she wants with it, and the grandmother agrees because, that's how she gets her granddaughter involved. So her granddaughter takes it and kind of makes it like a, you know how in cafes they have the microphone stand and you read poetry and stuff like that with the candles? She takes it and kind of goes with that theme with it a little bit, except it also has a bubble blower in it. So, and I did play test this. So this microphone completely works. Your Sims can get onto the stage there. One of the things I wish they would fix in The Sims 4, though, is whenever you place a platform directly against a wall, it always deletes that wall. And, like, in this case, I didn't want the wall deleted. I mean, I can always go and put it back, and it was fine, but I didn't want that wall deleted. I wanted my platform up against the wall. So, I mean, just a little thing, but it'd be nice if they'd fix it. But I used a bunch of candles in the upstairs, the bubble blower. I used a lot of stuff from movie night pack. I've been kind of having a little bit of an obsession with the movie night pack lately, so I kind of went with that. Looks like I'm starting to touch up on some of the outside. I added a pathway. I'm adding a little bit of terrain paint. Now, I didn't add any bathrooms or any sort of plumbing in this because part of it is she's using shipping containers, which obviously I know you can hook up plumbing in shipping containers, but my mind and my thought was also, well, she's, maybe a little older, maybe the plumbing aspect of it was a little hard for her, so she didn't do it, but she does have a bathroom outside. I'm adding some kids' playground equipment right now because I figure maybe her friends have younger kids who, would come and play with when their grandmothers came to knit. So kind of a little play area for them. I have made entirely too many sandboxes lately. I feel like I have a problem and somebody needs to come and help me with these sandboxes because I keep making them. But it is a fully functional sandbox. Like, your Sims can go in there and build sand castles or whatever. But now we're on to the screenshots, and I just kind of like how this build came out. I think I had been wanting to do something like this for a while, and I just used the shell challenge as an excuse to I don't want to say go off the deep end with a little tea house inspired theme, but I kind of went off the deep end a little bit with a tea house inspired thing. But I do think it came together really, really cute, and I might place this in one of my world builds. And I like that upstairs. I've been wanting to use the movie night packs for a minute now. They're so cute in the patio with the flowers. And like I said, I did add some oranges in just to kind of break it up a little bit. But that is my submission for the SimplyCoCo Shell Challenge. As I said before, I would like to not be considered for first place or anything like that with the packs because I already have them all. I want them to go to someone who needs them, but I will link his video up above again so you can see the information. I believe the deadline for this is April 5th, 2021. But that's all for this video. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. It really does help us out. And check out SimplyCoCo's page. Thanks. See you tomorrow. Bye.